everybody. I just wanted to say a few words in closing of our end of the province carbon tax protest. Due to weather and lack of participants to continue holding the line at the North Sydney Highway to the Newfoundland Ferry, sadly, was no longer feasible. We stayed as long as we could. However, the last day there were very few people, and I ended up being by myself from 5 p.m. until the next morning, and it was decided to forego any further protesting at that location. However, for 4 days we did hold the line at that location with drone footage, Cape Breton Post on the first day, our very own independent local media, Cape Breton Originals, with Janet Dermody on location practically every day. And those same people who showed up every day, one even riding their bicycle, was still very worth all the efforts that went into organizing, planning, and preparing for this huge history making event. Myself and our team have no regrets whatsoever, as we did our very best and we did hold the line. The community were awesome with their support in bringing us fresh supply of coffee and donuts on a daily, and food as well. All the traffic going by honking their horns was always appreciated, especially from our truckers. One trucker on the last night, while I was waiting for the last ferry to offload, stopped, honked, and gave me a bag of apples. I was like a kid every time those truckers honked their horns. And the last night, one trucker, while I was in my vehicle for the night, really laid that horn for what seemed like miles down the highway. I so loved it. On behalf of our local planning team, I would like to thank all the businesses who offered loans of safety equipment, discount on our porta potty, making of certain items that were needed for this event. Many thanks also to all the volunteers who offered up their time for flyer deliveries and sharing of information online, as we didn't always have Wi-Fi on location. I would also like to thank my team, as they went far and beyond for this event. It would not have been possible without them. Loves ya. Also, much thanks to the Nationwide team, and we give them much love and wish them the best as they continue to hold the line in their interprovincial borders across this country. It was a pleasure to work together with them as we planned and organized this event professionally as best as we could. I'm proud to have been involved with this planning team. I also want to give a huge shout out to Cody, who provided us his nice classic pickup truck with the big Trudeau Musco flag. The visuals on that vehicle being there with its flashing roof lights was awesome. The drone footage really showed her off very well. Thank you, Cody Fitzgerald of Cody Fitzgerald's Trucking on Clifford Street in North Sydney. One more thank you goes out to our local law enforcement, the Cape Breton Regional Police Services Traffic Division, namely Sergeants Keith Bauer and Aaron Donovan, for collaborating with our team to ensure all was safe for the public. They had ensured us that we were perfectly legal in the manner of setup we had at our location for the carbon tax protest. An extra thank you to Sergeant Keith for having extra patrols for me on that last night that we held the line. The nationwide protest against the carbon tax continues across this country. Our location may no longer be active. However, Capers did try holding the line today. They began at noon at the Cape Breton Causeway. Sadly, only 4 people were able to attend. It was a last-minute appeal and perhaps not enough notice for all to see, but we give many hugs and love to those 4 participants. We are all opposed to the carbon tax, as each and every single Canadian has been effective on April 1st, as the carbon tax had increased by 23%, and the urgency for collective action has never been more pressing for all Canadians. We are all hurting financially due to this carbon tax. I repeat that we already know that out of 338 MPs, a motion of non-confidence was not heard by the unelected Liberal NDP coalition. Therefore, the current sitting government is not listening to the 70% of Canadians and the 70% of provincial premiers when they state we no longer want the carbon tax. It's time to end this inflation-grabbing middle-class elimination tax that is putting many more Canadians in the little poorhouse. We do not need any more tent cities in our neighborhoods. This coalition government does not have Canadians' backs, as they constantly claim. In reality, they have no idea what Canadians want or need. Justin Trudeau is not Canada's daddy, for lack of a better word. He is a dictator wannabe and has no clue how to run a country. And if you all haven't heard yet, Trudeau has given his favorite province a carbon tax break. That's right. Quebecers only have to pay $57 per ton, while the rest of Canada pays $80 per ton. Isn't that nice now? They get a 28.75% decrease in the carbon tax. That is less than the $65 per ton prior to the April 1st 23% increase. That's 12.3% less than it was before April 1st. How can that be? So this, in fact, tells a lot about this carbon tax scam plan. If they can continue to make these specific deals, like they did with the home heating oil, no carbon tax on that for 3 years, then they can scrap that carbon tax completely. Canadians need more true NDPs to vote against this carbon tax and to enact the procedure for amending the Constitution, Government of Canada, Intergovernmental Affairs, Part 5, Section 38 of the Constitution Act 1982, which sets out how the Constitution of Canada can be amended. Through the general amending procedure, generally referred to as the 750 formula, Section 38.1, some amendments require resolution of the Senate, the House of Commons, and the Legislative Assembly of at least 2/3 of the provinces, which is 7, which is what we have, that have at least 50% of the population of Canada as a whole, which we have 70% of Canadians who want this carbon tax gone. Canadians are being punished with this carbon tax hike, which also includes tax on that carbon tax, while all MPs and PM get an automatic pay raise. Do you all seriously believe you deserve a pay raise? Did you all sign up for the Liberal NDP coalition to simply aid Jasmeet Singh to receive a pension on taxpayers' dime? I'm very sure that every voter who voted you in did not vote for a Liberal NDP coalition. Are you ready now to listen to your constituents and not your leaders? That's right. Your party has 2 leaders. Your voters did not want 2 leaders running this country. They did not vote for that. It's time to make things right for them, those who voted you in. Canadians need your vote for the people, for your constituents, for those people who voted for you, to those 24 NDP MPs across Canada. Please do the right thing. Canadians need you more than ever before. So vote against the carbon tax hike and help Canadians by ending this carbon tax for good. Canadians need 51% of this vote for them. Do it for them. The vast majority of Canadians across every province and all demographics oppose the upcoming federal carbon tax, well, the already put in place carbon tax hike of 23%. And the 70-50 formula would work if only the NDP MPs would truly listen to Canadians and vote who voted for them when they say they want the carbon tax to end. We appeal to you as constituents, and we ask that you do the right thing for Canadians and not for your 2-party leaders. Do what Trudeau cannot do, which is to actually have Canadians' backs. Again, we give many thanks to all who were and continue to be involved with this nationwide protest initiative to end carbon tax. And our final words will be this. We now say to Prime Minister Justin Trudeau, you must adhere to what 70% of Canadians want and 70% of what the premiers want. We will persist peacefully, holding the line for however long it takes until our objectives are achieved. On behalf of the nationwide protests against the carbon tax initiative across Canada and every Canadian, Canadians will hold the line for as long as it takes. Power to the revolution of the people. I thank you all and everyone who was involved in our local endeavor. I love you all. And let's end this carbon tax for good. Over and out.